Okay, I think we're live now.
Okay.
Yeah. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who is watching or who is joining or who is watching this recording later on. You are welcome to today's episode of Let's Talk Scholarships. And today we'll be talking about, regular topic we've been having on for the past few weeks, which is the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. And this would be our final session because the deadline for the application will be on Tuesday, the 9th of December. So if you haven't logged that date and you're making this application, please go and mark that date on your calendar so that you do not forget to submit your application before that day. I repeat again, Tuesday, the 9th of December is the submission deadline. So please do take notes and work towards that timeline. Okay, so before we go into the discussion proper, if you're listening, please drop your name and where you're joining us from in the comment section. I'm going to apologize a little bit for our late start because we were just trying to sort out some things with the technical issues in the background. But I think everything should be all good now, and I think you guys can all hear me clearly. So we're all good. Yeah, so just drop your name, where you're joining us from in the comment box so that we can get to know you a little bit, and then we'll do a round of introductions in the studio very soon. I also need to say for those of us on LinkedIn, please, if you're streaming from LinkedIn, tap into the live stream video and put your comments in the live stream video comment section. We've had issues in the past where people we are watching from the advertised post and we're putting their comments there and we can't see those comments on the back end in the studio. So if you could please use the comment section of the actual live stream, we'll be able to see your comments. And if you have any questions, we'll be able to take them on. Good. One more thing before we go into the round of introductions to the people on the screen. Today's session is mostly going to be about answering questions that applicants are having difficulty with or any confusions anywhere. And we'll also be trying to give final tips for what you need to do to get your submission finalized. Like I said, marking the submission dates is the number one top tip that you're going to have in these final days. But if you have any questions that you have before the session or as the discussion goes along, please feel free to drop them in the comments as soon as they pop into your head so that we can take all those questions on board before we run out of time. We don't want to get into the usual situation where we're getting towards the end of the session and then a lot of questions are popping in and we can't really take all the questions because of time. So please remember to pop your questions as soon as you can. So I will go straight into introductions. My name is Buchi. I'll be hosting today's session. I was a Commonwealth Scholar, or I am a Commonwealth Scholar. They say Commonwealth Scholar is Commonwealth Scholar for life. So so I took my scholarship in 2022-2023 at the University of Leeds. Did a master's in transport planning and engineering. And it was my second application. I know I did an application 2020, 2021. That didn't work out, and then I had to apply again. So, I think I've seen the bad side of what not to do, and the good side of the things that you're actually supposed to do. And I think over the years, mentoring a few other people, we've kind of gotten around, what are the kind of key items that you should be looking out for, and we're going to try and share a lot of that. I saw my panelists smiling when I said the Commonwealth Scholar for Life, so I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves. Doris, let me hand the mic over to you for your own introduction.
Hi everybody, welcome back to this channel. My name is Koru Doris and I'm a Commonwealth Shared Scholar 2024-2025. I concluded my master's in mechanism and therapy in cancer from Brunel University of London. I'm happy to be here to discuss about the scholarship with you guys. Stay tuned.
Okay, thank you so much. Osiris, should we come to you? You're on mute.
So thank you, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, where you're joining us from. My name is Wasiu Abiodun Omoniyi. I am a Commonwealth Scholar 2024-2025 to the University of Leicester. I finished my master's in cancer cell and molecular biology. and it was quite a very wonderful experience. I can assure you. So, it is my third time applying before I won the scholarship. So I am not the first applicant. I didn't win music like that. I've been served some rejections before I get to win. So, but it's finally very good to have won the scholarship. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much. We know the usual nickname for the rejections are called love letters.
Yes.
We'll, we'll go a little bit into that as we take on the introduction. So, if you hear people talking about, oh, did you get a love letter when you're making this type of application, just know that we are talking about the
Yeah.
unfortunate emails that usually come as part of the
Right.
process. So, if this is not your first time applying, you're among friends here. We we've had that experience. There's no. I think there's this slang that we had back in Nigeria. They said, "Now who give up, fuck up," which basically means is when you give up that you lose. If you don't
Exactly.
give up, you've not lost. But
Yes.
once you give up, you've lost. So if you're making a second, third, fourth, fifth, I think I've seen a seventh time applicant that won. So
Yeah. I
In
saw
fact, I saw
someone
11th applicant
11. Yes,
that
on
won check.
LinkedIn.
That was crazy. I can't
Mm,
11. No,
Mine
okay.
was just once though.
mine
Hmm.
was
Good.
3 times.
Good. So it's good that we have a variety on the panel today to discuss. So just be is this is usually a time when there's a lot of pressure. Some people are feeling the heat. They're feeling like, are you sure I can do this thing? Maybe I should just forget about this application. I should not submit.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
that's why we're just trying to say, it's very important, that you just understand that it's happened to everybody. You're not alone. You're not the first person it's going to happen to. You won't be the last person it's going to happen to. A lot of people that won the scholarship had that, felt it, pushed through it. Some people, I know somebody that didn't want to submit. It was the friend that took the application and went and pressed the submit button for them, and they won the scholarship. So different ways it happens. So it's just I'm just trying to calm everybody's nerves before we go into the big details of what we're discussing. But like I said, if you have any questions, please throw them in as soon as you can. So I'm going to take like 2 minutes to talk about the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship for those who may be hearing about it for the first time, because there are some people that come to thank you, Jiro, in the background with the drum roll. There are some people that come to these webinars just to get information. Maybe they're not applying this year, but maybe they have plans to apply in future. So I'm just going to give a very quick rundown. And if you guys remember anything that I've forgotten, please feel free to chip in. Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. When you hear the Commonwealth Scholarships, there's a group of fully funded scholarships that the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission offers. And the Commonwealth Shared is one of those. So if you want to see the broad range of everything that they offer, you can go to the Commonwealth Scholarship website. You will see everything there. The Commonwealth Shared, as the name implies, the reason that it's called the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship is because the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship is a joint scholarship between the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission and the university where you're going to study. So one of the key features is that they have shortlisted courses which they have chosen to sponsor. So the university has chosen what they want to sponsor, and the Commonwealth Scholarship has agreed that these are the courses that should be sponsored, and then both of them would jointly sponsor whoever is offered that scholarship. So that is one thing. Next thing is a fully funded scholarship, which means everything that's required for you to complete your studies will be taken care of, every financial aspect. So your own job is just to apply yourself to the learning process and deliver good results. So everything starting from your visa application, your flights to the UK, your fees at the
Accommodation.
university, your living
Yeah.
expenses, everything will be covered. There's even a few other allowances that you may get for research and a few other things. So people like Wasiu and Doris are fresh off the bat, so they understand exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it's a
I wish
wonderful experience.
I wish you could turn back the hands of time.
You won't say that if they tell you to write another dissertation. Wait,
Ah,
what?
I'm ready for the money.
Okay. Mhm. So that is the scholarship that we are talking about. There's a rigorous application process. One key feature is that the application process usually comes a year before. So the application that is currently ongoing, which will be closing on Tuesday, is for people that will be starting studies in September 2026. So people that started studies this September applied around this time last year. So that is the way it usually goes. It's almost a fully application process. Once you submit your application by the 9th of this month, Then the whole process begins to take place. So people are shortlisted, and then there's nominations being done. Then somewhere in the middle of next year, you get to understand the results and everything. There's a whole list of requirements and information that is listed on the Commonwealth Scholarship website, which I'm not going to go into now because we don't really have the time. But it's just to let you know, if you're hearing about the scholarship for the first time, you know, there's about 2 days left for this cycle's application if you want to be brave. But you can also start preparing for the next application. I think one of the things that helped me in my second attempt was the fact that after my first attempt was unsuccessful, I just started refining my application from that point on and started changing things as we went along. So I had like a full range of about 8 months to try to work things out together to, find out what went wrong, try to realign things. But like Doris has said, people also get it on their first attempt. So don't be afraid. Good. So that's a brief summary of what the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship is. So we're now going to what we call final tips, or what I call the dotting of I's and the crossing of T's, or final tips and tricks. So I'll give mine, then I'll yield the mic to my two guests in the studio to also give theirs, because their memory will be fresher than mine. Mine has been a while now. So first thing I will emphasize again is take note of the deadline. And as long as you're taking note of the dates, also take note of the time, and also take note of the time difference between where you are and the UK. 3 very important points. The website may say 4 p.m. on the 9th of December, but 4 p.m. in the UK may not be 4 p.m. where you are. And you may be trying to go and press submit by 3:30 p.m. in your time, but 3:30 p.m. in your time may be 7 p.m. in UK, and the window has closed. So please do take note of that time difference. I know someone who has not been able to submit because they made that mistake.
Yeah.
The dates and the time. Two very crucial points in these last days. If you can set like reminders on your phone, 10 hours before, 6 hours before, 4 hours before, just to make sure that you submit. Also, as submitting is important, make sure you tick all the requirements that are required. I think one of the key features of the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship is that among the list of courses, you're allowed to apply to as many as you want to, or that you feel that you are qualified for. Please make sure that you are not submitting an application for MSc Clinical Studies at the University of Lancaster under the application for MSc Transport Engineering at the University of Leeds. Sometimes there can be a lot of confusion going on when you're handling multiple applications.
Yes.
So please make sure that you try to sort that out. So the best thing is to do it before the day, because on that day there'll be a lot of pressure, a lot of rush. Sometimes the portal will be lagging. So try as much as possible to sort it out. The way I did mine, as a tip, is I submitted one by one. I had different folders on my laptop. This is for this particular course. I have the full set of essays and everything for that one. Listed it all out. I go into the application portal. I know I'm facing University of Leeds. I go to the University of Leeds folder. I'm uploading everything I want to upload. After all that, I press submit. I know that one is gone. Then I start the next one. That was the way I did mine. People have, done partially for different ones, but it depends on the way, how organized you are and how you can manage that. It's one of the things that, can trip people up, because the application is reviewed by the university you're sending it to. If I'm a professor at the University of Liverpool and you're sending me an application and you're talking about University of Chester, I already know that you are not our candidate, because you're not actually applying to us. So that's already out of the window. Very important point. The last thing I'm going to say, lots of people on the screen are laughing. I think they know someone that it has happened to, or maybe they saw something like that happened to.
I'm already reading some that look exactly like that.
Okay. It's just so people know that these are not fairy tales. So it actually happens, and you may be thinking it's not happening to you, but it may be happening to you, because you would know that it's happening to you unless you actually take a step back to look at it. So the last thing I'm going to say is, in terms of final tips, is try to reread what you've written as your submission. If you've crafted essays and written a lot of things, maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, sometimes it's good to take a fresh eye now that you are closer to the end, because sometimes during the application process you learn a lot of new things that probably will help your application to be better. So maybe it's time for you to now go back to that thing you wrote 2 weeks ago, a week ago, give it another refresh, not just the essays but everything you fill in the form, to make sure that everything is actually aligning properly with what you are submitting for. it's a highly competitive scholarship. So any small thing can mess up your chances, and you don't want to be in that boat. Make sure that you fulfilled all the requirements. If your university has some requirements for you to take on board, maybe they need you to include your admission reference number in the application, or they need you to include in your personal statement that this is something. Make sure you tick all those boxes. Make sure you've taken note of all those things and you've ticked all those boxes. So that's all I'm going to say for now. If anything else pops into my head, I'll chip it in. But then I'm going to hand the mic to let's go to Wasiu. Wasiu, let's go.
Yeah.
I think the applause was for you.
No, the applause was actually for you because of the point that you've made. So thank you very much. In fact, let me say you have said most of all the things. But some of the things I can talk about, because I've read some people's essays, they send it to me for them to review. One mistake I noticed that people do is that people are not specific about what they want to do. So you have someone that's talking about infectious disease. What type of infectious disease do you want to work with? Are you
Yes.
working with tuberculosis? Are you working with antimicrobial resistance? No. They were just like infectious disease. We know. But you can't do all the infectious disease. So you have to pick one. People are not
Yeah.
specific with that. And also, I have seen someone that wrote an essay and start with diabetics, and then during the study outline, the person started writing about cancer, and I'm like, how is diabetics now turned to cancer in study outline? So it is. I had to like inform the person and say, okay, you have to be specific here. If you are talking about diabetics, make sure that everything you are talking about is diabetics all through. You cannot start with diabetes and started chipping in cancer with it. They don't go, they are not correlating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and another thing I've noticed again is that some people, maybe because of the way they wrote everything, they were so fast, they really don't read through. There are so many words that are missing. Someone was trying to write I was, he wrote IW alone. There is no AS behind. Like all those small things. People are not like very, very,
Yeah.
very, please borrow me English. So they are not very focused on that. They just, because everybody wants to write, they want to submit, they are not really focused on what they are writing. They don't read it deeply. And the final thing that I can say is, like you said, some people start writing about University of Chester, and then they were saying, my course at the University of Liverpool, and I'm like, no, this is actually not making any sense. If you want to talk about University of Liverpool in this application, make sure it is University of Liverpool all through. And then some people are found of, because I gave someone, I trusted the person with my essay and gave it to that person, my winning essay for University of Leicester. I gave it to that person for them to use as a guide. And the person wrote everything word for word from my essay and sent it back to me to review. Everything. Everything. In fact, the person did not even change A or B out of it. The way I wrote everything, I am going to leverage on, he wrote the same thing. I was like, and you expect me to read this? I can't. You have to go back and rewrite. And he was like, oh, the time has gone. You cannot do that. So you don't have your own imagination. So you really don't have anything you are thinking about. So
Yeah.
you just want me to feed you my own essay and then you feed it back to them. One, I've won this scholarship. I have no problem about it. It is you that you might have a problem of plagiarism. So whatever we do, if someone supply us essays that they have used before, it is to serve as a guideline, not for you to copy and paste. Thank you very much.
Okay, I
Auntie,
think I think that was it's a very important point, the copy and paste one, because people may not understand, because maybe it's not very common where you're coming from. Plagiarism is a big issue, especially in academia. You know, yes, it can lead to serious consequences, not just not getting the scholarship. In some cases it can be criminal. So if someone is, and they say that one last year will not win this year, no matter
Yeah.
what you do, no matter
Yes,
what you do.
that's true.
Even me, if I say I want to apply again by any means necessary, I cannot use the same essay, to not work again. So people just need to take very good note of that. If you're planning on copying something from somebody somewhere and using it, case closed. People that also want to say, oh,
Easy.
ChatGPT or Claude wrote for me. I always tell people, apart from the fact that AI can be detected, if ChatGPT gave you content, be sure that the next person, your neighbor in the next house that asks ChatGPT for content will get the same content out of ChatGPT. So,
I
so whatever you're submitting from AI generated content will most likely be the same as what somebody else is submitting, because you're
Some,
if you had that idea, somebody else had that idea. You're not the only lazy person in the world. No offense to anybody, but don't do that. Make your writings original. You don't need to use all the grammar in the dictionary. Simple words that are very intentional about what you're saying is always the winning secret. I think that's one thing that I learned across the board. Most of the time, if I've reviewed a lot of essays, some of them have won, some have not won. Most of the ones that won are the ones that are very clear and direct.
Yeah.
Some of the big words that you use or that you think even a professor in the UK may not really be conversant with that
Important.
grammar,
Important.
because language differs across the board. So if someone in the UK is reviewing what you're saying, they may not really understand. So be as simple, clear, and concise as possible. I think we've talked about the 7 C's of communication on this platform for a while. I'll try and dig it out. But let me allow Doris to also give us her own tips.
okay, I have something to say. I'll just start from where you stopped. When it comes to big words, big English, the people that actually read my essay, they were not in my field. Actually, people that interviewed me, they were not in my field. So even when I had the interview, they told me, please break things down in the way we can understand. So if you're writing your essay, it doesn't really need to have those big words. It's the originality of your content that matters. When it's original, when it's actually from you, I think you would ace it. And another thing is you should proofread your essay very well. Just like Wasiu and Buchi has said, you should make sure to proofread your essay over and over again. And then finally, your reference letters. The reference letters has, if you go to the Commonwealth site, I remember when I was applying, I had to go there to check the format. There's a format of how you should structure your reference letter. I think the reference letter also has like a mark attributed to it. There's a format, you should write it. You should go to Commonwealth Scholarship sites to read that format. You don't just write a generic reference letter because maybe you've done several applications to schools and maybe your lecturer has given you reference letter before, and then you feel like, okay, let me just tweak this reference letter to suit the course that I want to do. Then maybe you just go and change the course. No, you don't do that. Commonwealth has a format of how you should write your reference letter, so you should follow that format. For example, I think mine had you put up your application number. Your
Mhm.
referee should put up the application number for a particular school that you want to apply for, the course, if I can remember very well, the course, and then the school. And then there are some other stuff too that you need to add to the reference letter before you go ahead to start listing, before the referee will go ahead to start listing, okay, what you've done, what you've not done, what your skills are, and your knowledge. There's a way you start it. So you should make sure to follow that format because reference letter has like marks attributed to them. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. That is actually wonderful.
Okay, thank you so much. I can see that questions have started rolling into the comment section, so I'm going to say we'll start picking those up so that we'll be able to answer as much as possible before time runs out. Because I know when you answer one question, you may lead to another question and so on. So, for those listening, please keep your questions coming. We don't have any problem answering your questions. As long as they come in time, we'll try to take them up. As you can see, we have a lot of speakers, a lot of energy on the screen today. So, first question I can see is from Chioma, who is asking, is the number of years after graduation usually considered?
Yeah.
Follow up, like I graduated in 2018 and I'm skeptical about that. Okay. Who wants to take the question?
Um,
Okay, Doris.
okay, so I'll just give you an instance. I have someone who actually applied for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship before he graduated from school. But just be sure that before you start the course, whichever course you're applying for, you should be done with your previous commitment, right? So it's not the graduation year, it does not really matter. So far you're almost done with your undergraduate, you can go ahead and apply for the Commonwealth Scholarship. That's what I have to
Now,
say.
in this case, she said she finished, I think, 2018 or so. So maybe what she's trying to say is from 2018 to 2025, would it be considered? I don't think so. The thing is, you should be able, the only thing is you should be able to justify what you have been doing in those years that actually make you a very wonderful candidate for them.
Oh, okay.
Because I finished my undergrad in 2021, I did internship 2022 stroke 2023, did service 2023 stroke 2024, then won the scholarship 2024 to 2025. So when I was writing my application, then I told them I finished 2021, and I told them what I've been doing, all the work I've been doing, my service, my internship, everything. So I believe that the person that actually graduated since 2018 is not lazy up till this point. It's as if they have not been doing anything. They will have been doing something. All those things that they have been doing should be included in the application to show why they have been what they have been doing in those 7 year gaps that they're applying for scholarship. So I don't think it will be considered as long as you're able to show what is being done in those years. Thank you.
Okay. I'll just add, the Commonwealth Scholarship, as far as I know, does not have any upper age limit.
Yeah.
I think I've seen people, I went to an event, I think they said the oldest Commonwealth scholar was 66.
What?
What?
Okay.
Hey.
Okay. So,
That's a grandfather.
yeah, so because it's all about development impact.
Oh
When
my
if you're writing
God.
essays, you understand. If you can change
Yeah.
the world, they want to give you the scholarship.
Yeah.
It's not
I'm
really about,
telling
oh, I'm
you.
just a fresh
Wow.
graduate, I'm not doing anything.
66.
Well, one of my lecturers too won. So
Hmm.
won
So
for masters, which is surprising.
yeah,
They say
so
okay.
there's no upper age limit, there's no target. I think the most
Yeah.
important thing is if you say it, because one thing about writing these essays is that the conviction and the passion for the issue that you're talking about will show when you're writing.
Yeah.
So if there's an issue that you want to solve, sometimes the issue may have been an issue that you noticed 20 years ago,
Mhm.
and this is your opportunity to make a difference. Sometimes it be an issue that you noticed last year. So it depends on the way you're telling your story, which is why when after you talk about the development impact and everything, they will always give you that opportunity to talk about what's your future career plan, what does it look like. They give you a personal statement of 500 words to write about everything else that they did ask you about, to talk about what's going on. So if there's something significant between those years, between 2018, that has prompted you to take this path, this is the time to talk about. If you're doing anything in the actual field that you're trying to go into, you've been doing some stuff, either in paid employment, as a volunteer, on your own, with an organization, that's where you talk about all those things. So those things are what adds salt and pepper to your application, because if you're already working in the field, you're already doing something there, you already have field and ground experience, all you need is like an advanced degree to improve your knowledge so you can do more. That makes you a very good candidate in my own book, you know. Doesn't take away from people that don't have any experience at all, because like I said, sometimes it can be something that you noticed from childhood and you've been, striving your whole life to work towards solving that problem. So that can also be a pathway. So it's all about how you write the story. There's no right or wrong answer. You just need to make good use of what you have to explain why you are the best candidate to take up that opportunity to, make the impact that you can make. Good. So if there's nothing else to add, I think I'll go to the next question.
Yeah.
There's a question here. I applied to University of Leeds, though late, no offer letter yet. Will it be a waste of time submitting without the offer letter upload?
No.
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 Okay.
I remember that I have a friend that doesn't. In fact, the person was not even a friend. The person was actually a senior colleague. She applied to Aberystwyth University without. She did not even do admission to the school, but she was nominated. And then they said I think the admission cycle has closed. But because she was nominated, they were like she was allowed to apply. I don't know how they did it for her.
Wow.
They opened their portal for her to apply because they said she is the candidate that they nominate. So they had to open the portal for her in Aberystwyth University. It's one of the reasons why I was prompted to apply for Aberystwyth University then. I did not have like admission in the school. The admission cycle has closed. Now I was on reserve, and then I was told that if I had actually been nominated, they will have opened the portal for me to apply for admission. I have the email and everything
Oh,
with me.
but that's really a risk, you know. You
Yeah,
shouldn't
it's
take
really
that
a
risk
risk, but as long as you have applied to the school, make sure that the moment you finish your application with Commonwealth, apply to the school as
to the
well.
school. Yeah,
Make sure that the school's application cycle has not closed.
closed.
So those are one of the things that we people need to understand when applying for scholarship. As you are applying to schools, go to their website, check if the application cycle is still available, like the admission cycle is still out, so
Yeah.
that the moment you're applying for the scholarship, you apply for the admission into the school as well. So,
Okay.
but it is not a waste of time. Submit your letter, then go there, apply.
Yeah, I'll just add one more thing to give a different perspective. So, some universities will tell you not even to apply until you've applied to Commonwealth.
Are you
So,
serious?
Yeah.
yeah, so I think the one I know is Cranfield. That's the way Cranfield works with Commonwealth Shared. Because
Mm.
I have someone that I'm mentoring. She had applied to admission to Cranfield and then, submitting the Commonwealth Shared. But in the application, she stated that she's applying for Commonwealth Shared. So Cranfield has come back to her to say, you're applying for Commonwealth Shared, so we would take your offer out of the system because you would only come back to apply for admission after you've been nominated. That is the way
What?
their own system. That's the way their own system works.
Yes,
Wow.
it makes sense. So that they won't have unnecessary admissions.
Mhm.
Because there are some people that they apply for admission majorly because they've applied for the scholarship. So instead of filling spaces, admission spaces with those people, they want to know the people that they have selected for the scholarship, so that they can give admission to the people that will be maybe self-funding and stuff like that. So that
Okay, I
Mhm.
see why now.
because
That's very
once the quota is filled up, they won't do admission again. I know
Yeah.
that one from University of Leicester. The moment the quota is filled up, maybe they have like 20 admission quota for a class, and it is already filled up with admissions, they are not accepting any admission.
Yeah. So different schools have different. I think the important thing to know is different schools have different ways of
yeah.
doing it. I always tell people if you can email the school to tell them I'm applying for Commonwealth Shared. Let them know if there's any requirement that they need from you. They will let you know. If there's anyone that if when I applied to University of Leeds did not have any requirement, but I don't know whether that has changed. But it was basically just go and submit your Commonwealth Shared application, then come and apply for
Point
admission
two.
letter. That was the way it works. But I know there's some other schools that will do interview for you.
Yeah,
Cambridge.
I actually had admission the previous year, which I deferred to the next year. I used that admission offer to apply for Commonwealth Scholarship.
I did the same thing in University of Leicester as well. I have had an admission in cancer cell and molecular biology, even though I was interested in infection and immunity. But they later chose me for that cancer cell and molecular biology. And I'm like, okay, I've accepted this scholarship. I go do am. I no get choice. And it was very interesting. I love it.
Yeah. So, well, in essence, if you have an application, please submit. It's never a waste. It's never a
Yeah,
waste because you can never tell what's going to happen. But
happen.
try as much as possible to also interact with the university as you're applying. Submit an application and make sure that you submit on both ends. Very
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's the next question? There's a question here. Is it
Is it like
advisable to number the indicators of how my work will be measured in development impact 4 or outlined by numbering any achievements in the essay at all? Okay. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. Who wants to take this question?
should I say?
What's
Go
you
ahead.
can
Well, actually, I did something like that in my previous application. Like the second scholarship application I did. And then in my third application, I sent it to a scholar to read for me and maybe verify. The first thing they pointed out was you don't have to number all your achievements. It is very advisable for you to write everything in prose form, but make sure it makes sense. Make sure you highlight it very well that they will be able to see. You don't have to put it in numbers. That sometimes they just want to read. So you numbering actually sometimes might distract. I'm not CSC spokesman or anything, but that was what the scholar then told me. And for the fact that he has won the scholarship already, I believe his take is fantastic. And I did that and I won as well. So I think numbering or putting indicators like point or maybe dot or numbers or A and B, no, it's really not advisable. So I
And
don't know.
if you number, it's actually disorganized the essay because everything has to like connect, everything has to come together. So if you number, I don't think it will flow. The reading has to be flowing and making sense. So numbering is not
Numbering is
bad.
out of this.
Yes,
Okay. I'll just add little contrary opinion.
it's all right.
Uh, Development impact 4. I know that's where they talk about how your impact will be measured.
Measured, yeah.
If I remember, it's 100-word essay,
Yeah,
very short and snappy. I think when I wrote mine, something similar. I did numbering, then I took it out. But what I did was I just made every paragraph a sentence, you know. And it's not like, because sometimes when people number, when people do bullet points, they're just writing phrases or writing. It has to be
Example.
sentences. You have to make
exactly.
sentences.
It has to connect.
XXX would be measured using XXXXX.
Yeah.
That is a point. You can press enter, go to the next slide. XXXX other outcome will be measured using XXXX. That is fine, as long as it's very clear what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Don't go and start writing. You don't put bullet point and say H index will be used, this will be used, this
Exactly.
indicator will be used, because that's where you run into problem. What exactly are you talking about?
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
so you need to make it clear what you're talking about. It's 100 words. It's very short. They don't expect you to write the whole word. Write only the important things. One thing people need to understand about word count is not about cramming as much as possible into the short word count. It's about using the word count to express the most important thing you want to talk about. So, if you start putting numbers, those numbers will count as words. That's one big thing that you need to understand. If you put one dot, that one dot is one word already. That's taken
Yeah.
out of your word count.
Yeah.
So no need for all that. But you can be strategic in the way you write. Writing
Yeah.
is a skill. Be strategic in the way you write what you're writing. Whether you write it on separate lines or you write it as one bulk paragraph, it's still the same meaning it's going to carry. But make sure that your point is clear about what you're talking about. Don't try to use short form or shorthand or short, meaningless sentences because you're trying to save words and you want to write 20 things inside 100 word counts. They've given you a word count that they know will fit into the amount of content they want from you. Maybe they want only 2 points or 3 points from you. That's why they've given you a short word count. If you make 2 or 3 solid points, you're better than someone that made 7 or 8 points that don't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. If we move to the next question, I think it's another interesting one. While filling the application form, I saw something like institution application number. If I don't have this, can I still submit the application? Okay.
Doris.
I think so.
Well,
But
Well,
I don't.
I think so as well.
I think so. Yes.
I
Yes,
think
you
so.
can.
yeah, the answer should be, if I remember, someone has asked this question on one of our platforms. I think on that section of the form is institution application number, and they put either in bracket if you have it or if you have or something like that. Or
If you don't have,
if you
continue.
don't have, is you
Yeah,
don't
you
have
can.
is that you don't have, so you ignore it.
You
And
don't have, you know.
I know that because goes back to a point I made before. When some institutions have some instructions they want you to follow, there's maybe 1 or 2 schools that will tell you, please put this number in that box
Yeah.
when you're applying, so that they can
Yeah.
link your application to your
True.
actual profile in the school.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that
University of
instruction
Dundee,
from your university,
University of Dundee did that.
okay, you see. So it's not for it may not be for everybody. That box may just be there if you have it, if you don't have it. But as far as it's not a compulsory cell, please submit your application. Don't let that be the thing that makes you not to press that submit button. Because when you don't press the submit button, you just reduce the competition for others to win.
Yes.
Okay, I think there's a second question from the same person. Secondly, my international passport is not yet ready. Can I use my NIN instead? I think this is for Nigerians.
No, you can't.
No, capital
No,
no.
no,
You
you can't.
cannot.
NIN only works in Nigeria. This
Nigeria, yeah.
passport, you need the number because it's one of the important documents you need to have. Because if they offer you the scholarship and the admission, you have to travel out of the country. NIN only works in Nigeria. You need your international passport, so it really
No.
doesn't count. NIN doesn't count, so no.
Okay, so anything you can do to get the international passport,
Get
please do so.
e-passport.
And use the time to rearrange your aces for next year.
Very important point. You're already postponing to next year.
Yeah.
I will say this as a piece of advice though.
Okay.
Even if you don't have your passport, yeah, and you've already crafted an application, you've crafted everything, submit.
Yeah.
Press the submit button. Because one thing about this is, you can never say never.
Yeah.
Number
Exactly.
one, you never say never. That's number one. And I always believe in don't disqualify yourself if someone has not disqualified you.
But I want to say something because if you don't have international passport, I don't think you can apply to the schools.
Some schools can give you the opportunity to go and get an international passport. I think I've seen something like that.
Or if that's the case, then
The same way you can use a statement of result in
Result.
place of a certificate, and then they can tell you later on to get the certificate before they confirm your admission offer. So there's some flexibility somewhere. I'm not saying this as a rule of thumb
it
or anything,
depends.
but you're not paying to submit. So if you press the
Yeah.
submit button and it doesn't work out,
Yeah.
I mean, you just know that without your international passport, your chances have been reduced,
Reduced.
and then you try to get it. But at the same time, there's the experience that comes with actually submitting a first application, whether you're ready or you're not ready. And then sometimes it gives you the motivation to reform your application and move forward. As a multiple applicant, I can tell you the truth. When I submitted my first one, I thought I was ready, but in back of my mind, there's that small voice at the back of my mind that's telling you haven't actually done this thing very well.
Yeah.
But you're just trying to give yourself confidence and submit.
Your own case is different because all your documents were actually complete. In this case, the person might feel like it's because of his or her name.
Yeah.
It's
And
also
then
a part of it.
another thing I would say is in this age that everybody is, I always have international passport. I've gotten my international passport since 2020. It expired when I am in the UK. So I had to go and get another. In fact, I was doing my project when the visa unit of Leicester is sending me your passport. You have 3 months on your passport. You have 1 month on your passport. Your passport has expired. Yes, but because I've done it since 2020, I did it with hope that by God's grace something will materialize. So that's just it. Have passport ready. Anything can happen. So please.
Okay, moving to the next question. Okay, this one's from Ejiro. Please explain plagiarism. Okay, for those who don't know what it is. Okay. Those that recently graduated, I'll leave this one for you.
Well, over to you.
Why is Wasi? Well, plagiarism actually is you copying directly. It is like you taking context from someone's work directly into yours without acknowledging the original owner of that work. That is plagiarism. Like I have a work, I did it. I already maybe submit an application on it, or maybe I've already published a paper on it. Then Madam Doris now come. She took everything I wrote word for
Yes.
word and put it in her own paper or in her own write-up, and she submit it as well as her own original
That's
work.
my own. Yes.
Exactly, that is plagiarism. So what it just means is that you don't write somebody's work, copy and you paste it directly
Yes.
to yours and say that is your own work. No. So that's
That does not mean when copying somebody's essay, you put the person's name in reference in brackets. That does not mean that.
yeah. You don't do that.
You don't do
I
that.
There is something called paraphrasing, which means you want to say the same thing but in a different way.
Wait.
So please, even if you don't have the creativity, because sometimes when you are bombarded or when you are stressed and you are trying to meet up with the deadline, the creativity level is low. You want to do everything. Paraphrase, paraphrase. That's why we have good grammar. We are taught good English in Africa. I would not lie to you. Because my
Yes.
professors in Leicester, they are always complaining about my write-ups for my master's project. Well, I see your grammar are too big. What is trying to do this one? In fact, I everything they didn't correct my project for okay, you didn't do well here, you didn't write here, we don't understand. All what they are correcting it for is grammar. Please don't write this. Just say it simply. I am trying to understand. Don't say I am trying to acknowledge that. No, don't acknowledge, understand. And that's it. So please, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I think that was a very good explanation of plagiarism.
Yeah.
I think there's more questions. Here we go. I'm applying to two universities on Commonwealth portal, but I have not submitted any application to the schools. Can I submit for Commonwealth now and apply for the schools before the year runs out? I think we've answered this question,
Yeah,
Yes,
I've
the
we
answered
have.
it.
previous one.
Yes, you can. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next one.
Concerning.
Concerning the reference letter, please can you clear me more on that? Okay. Doris, this one might be for you.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this person wants to for me to clear, but like I said before, you need to go to the Commonwealth Scholarship page. Before you start any application, you should do your findings, right? Do your findings, go to the Commonwealth Scholarship page, read about like the format of the reference letter, how the reference letter should look like. Because you should let your referees know that this is the format he or she should use. The person shouldn't just write like a generic reference letter for you. Like I mentioned before, I cannot really remember very well, but I know that there's a format. Your referee needs to write about how long he or she have known you. The referee needs to write about the referee needs to add your application number
Yeah.
to the school that you're applying to. The referee also needs to add your course name and the university name you're applying to. This is actually the ones I can remember. That's like the format. If you miss all of this, I don't think you will have the full mark that you actually need to have for the reference data. So you will need to go to the Commonwealth Scholarship page to actually do your findings, like to be very sure of all of this information.
Yeah.
So Wasi, if you have any other thing to say, you could just add.
Yeah. Also, it is very important that your referee is able to talk on your abilities in as concern maybe your performance in class in regard to other people that you work with in your courses, in your classes, in your department. Because I could remember that my own referee, Professor Ogbonu, he would always write it like in terms of critical thinking, in terms of presentation, in terms of all those things, is like top 2%, is like top 1%. So with these, I believe that all those things they should be able to speak on your ability
Yeah.
and your capacity as a person. So
Let me just add something. During my time, I told my referees about it and asked them if I could actually draft the letter myself and then send it back to them to proofread and do some corrections. So if you can actually do that, that would be very nice because most times these lecturers they just do something very generic and then they don't follow the format. So if you can draft it yourself and send them to do the proofreading and do some corrections, I think that's okay.
yeah, yeah. So I think that is okay as well. That is very, very okay as well.
Yeah. So I'll just echo the last point from Doris because I think that's a lot of the recommendations we've been given. We've had different webinars to talk about reference letter. I think we have one that's coming up too. I think next week we're going to talk about reference letters again, because reference letters are very important. It's not just about Commonwealth, even in your career, different other applications and opportunities, the way someone talks about you matters when you're not there. So you just need to make sure that they're not saying all those. His name is this. He went to this class. He was part of
Yeah.
this set, and he graduated with his set
Yeah,
mates.
that's
That doesn't
true.
mean anything to anybody, because
Mhm.
that's already information that I can get from your CV or from your
Yeah.
profile. So
Yeah.
the reference letter has to give additional context. So you need to make sure that whoever is writing and the content they are writing are giving insight into who you are as a person, your ability, as relevant to what you're applying for. So, like I said, we've done previous webinars on this where we talked about it in detail. So if you want to watch those, the recordings are always on YouTube. It's always there. It's a reference letter is a topic on its own. It's a big topic on its own. You need to actually understand it. If you're not used to it now, you need to start getting used to it for your future career, because whether it's sometimes it might even be a video or a word of mouth, whatever it is, referees are part of your growth and development, no matter the way you want to look at it. And you will also be a referee for somebody one day, when you get to that position as well. So you need to understand the dynamics around it.
Yeah.
So, I think we have a session next weekend that we're going to talk a little bit more. We're going to call some people that are actually referees to come and talk to us about why, how students can approach them, or how people are applying things can approach them to talk to get the best referee. Because sometimes the way you approach a referee also matters.
Yes, it matters because I will not lie to you. Me, because maybe because I was the class rep during my own time, I have numbers of these or most of these lecturers. So whenever I always like send them like messages, maybe happy weekend message or welcome to a new week message, text message, or not WhatsApp, text message.
Yeah.
And then whenever I am in need of their, reference letter, what I will do is on Friday I will message them that happy weekend. On Sunday, I'll message them that happy Sunday. On Monday, welcome to a new week. My oga will
That's
say,
what I
I
do.
need
That's what I
something
do.
is wrong. You cannot be sending me all this message continuously like this.
Yeah.
What do you need? Now reference letter. Hey, come clean. You
most
don't
times
have
I
to.
most times I call like I am my supervisor. We don't usually chat like back to
Yeah, we
back.
don't chat like
So if I need reference later, like for an application that will be ending next month, I'll start
that.
this month. Sir, I'm just calling to check on you. How you doing? How's school?
Yeah, exactly. I do that a lot. So
So you need
So,
to pour your way into their hearts.
so people need to be proactive about this type of things. Don't
Yeah,
expect someone to be proactive for you if you're not proactive for them. Life
exactly.
is life is the way it is. Everybody is human.
Exactly.
So even if the person is the president, he also has a human heart. Everyone likes good things. I think that's one thing that people need to understand. It's not just because you need something. Them too, they also need one or two things. Sometimes you
Exactly.
might go and volunteer for one of their projects just to
Good.
get noticed.
Yeah.
These are sacrifices that people make to get what they want out of life. So you just need to learn about it. It's not about kissing ass or kissing up to anybody, anything like
Mm.
that. But you just need
exactly.
to understand human relationships and work accordingly. Okay. Next question. I think it's an interesting one. I'm done with my essays. How will I know it's 100% okay for submission?
I laugh. Do you know why I laugh? You can never be sure that it is 100% okay for submission
Until you have been
because
selected for the scholarship.
you are not the one that is going to select yourself. You are not the one that is going to read your essay yourself and select yourself for the scholarship. So every people that are in charge of reading your essay, every panelist, they have what interests them.
Them.
And maybe because I've not been to Commonwealth, I don't know them, I've not been in contact with them. But one thing I noticed about people, because I'm sure that CSC will employ people in the UK to read your essays. One thing that they love most, that I've seen that they love most, is simplicity. They want to understand. They want you to use the barest minimum of English. You don't bombard them with grammars, like big ones, like trying to impress them. They don't like that. They want you to be simple. They want you to write something that it is easier for them to understand and relate with immediately, not something that will stress them. Not me now reading that, oh, you have, when you entice them with simple English and they began to read into your thing and you make it interesting to them as well, they continue to read. It impresses them. In fact, they might decide to just read your essay and be like, oh, we love this one. I don't think we are reading more. This one is enough. Because I could remember that in Leicester, that was what the course convener told me. He said, I was the one that read your essay. Now, why I'm interested in reading your essay is the fact that you told me you don't have any background in cancer, but you are interested in studying it. And then you explain to us what you have done, how you have been to the cancer patient's ward, how you have seen what they are doing, how you have talked to the doctor in charge of treating these patients, how you have been able to gather information from them. It shows someone that wants to do something,
Now
someone that
that's
is really interested in studying something, even though you
that's
don't have any background.
originality. Yes.
Exactly. And it was like, so I want to see you and, even give you the chance that without your background in cancer, if you do it, would you be able to like perform? He said that was how I was selected.
That's originality, Wasiu, if you ask me, because you need to be very, very
I
original
was.
with
I
what
told
you
them
write.
my
Another thing I
background
have
is
to
not
say,
microbiology.
what I
Not
want to add is you need to write something that is very feasible. Like,
yeah.
let's say when they ask you what do you want to be in the next 5 years, you come and start writing you want to be president of WHO, you want to be
Exactly.
president of
I saw
Nigeria.
that. I saw that.
You can
Someone wants to be a commissioner in his state within 3 years. Ha! Com-
so
Tinubu spent our president spent 40 years calculating to be president before he became president. 40 years. And you want to become commissioner within 3 years. It's impossible, man. You can't.
so you for me, I think you never know if your essay is 100% okay for
Yeah.
submission. Just if you've been following this webinar from the very first day, you should just follow all of the steps that they've given you,
Yeah.
and then pray to God, do your submission, and that's it. For me, when I did my submission, I wasn't sure if I was going to be picked, because I submitted and forgot about it. If not that my email is an email that I use, I wouldn't have
That you
known
check
that
regularly.
I was
That you check
selected for a
regularly.
scholarship, because yes, I wouldn't have known. So just do your parts, proofread your essay, dot your I's, cross your T's, do your submission, and pray to God that you will be selected. That's just it.
Also, if you have a friend that have won the scholarship before, or you have somebody that has won the scholarship before, you can send your essay to them to proofread. Let them point out mistakes to you. Don't be sometimes because my friend that actually proofread mine, he was very strict with me. In fact, the way he talk, I'm just like, but we graduated together. Oh. Now God just, you don't like the way he was explaining and talking like, Wasi, but you are smarter than this. You should be able to write something smarter. Like this is not smart. And I'm like, God, I beg. But I took in all those and he said, okay, you know what, this one is now okay. I love this one. You make it makes sense here and stuff like that. So give it to people that have won the scholarship before, because when people have won scholarship before and they have come to the UK, there is no how they will have the experience. They will go to class, they will listen to people, people will talk to them, they will talk to people, they will understand how it happens here. So if you give people like that, they can actually give you morale, they can boost your morale by telling you how your essay is doing and how it's going to do. It is not a 100% assurance that the moment they tell you that your essay is good like this, you are going to win the scholarship. Oh. No, but it's just for you to be at peace with yourself that you have done something. So that if paraventure gets elected, you can clap for yourself. And if paraventure you get selected otherwise, you can clap for yourself, dust your document again, and start.
And start next year.
Okay. I'll just add one thing.
Yeah.
Your essay can be wonderful, and you may not be selected for the scholarship. Not because your application is not great, but because there was someone more competitive than you, or that someone that best fit into the program more than your own application. The opportunity that is waiting for you may be a different opportunity than what is here, because courses are selected for Commonwealth Share Scholarship. It's not like the Commonwealth Master that's open to everybody.
Yeah.
Commonwealth Share, there's courses that are selected. So within that course, they know exactly what they are looking for, and your ability to show them exactly what they are looking for, or convince them otherwise that your own perspective is better, is what is going to make you
Exactly.
to select.
Convince them that your own perspective is better.
Mhm.
That's the word.
That's what's going to make you to stand out. But nonetheless, because people have, so I know someone that's applied to Commonwealth didn't get it, applied to Chevening got it. People have applied
Yeah.
to Chevening didn't get it, applied to Commonwealth didn't get it. People have applied to Commonwealth and Chevening didn't get it, applied to Erasmus Mundus got it. It's just a matter
Mastercard.
of it's just a
Yeah,
matter of which one fits best in your profile.
yeah, yeah. There is a friend of mine like that. I think you remember him, Aniche. He was
Yes.
actually not. It was a reserve candidate from like we both applied to University of Leicester. I was selected. It was the number one reserved candidate, but it wasn't selected because I took up the scholarship. And he applied for Mastercard,
And
and
you
now he's
got
in Canada. He's
Okay.
in Canada
so
right
so Commonwealth might not be your calling.
now. Sometimes
Yeah,
he was
sometimes
he
it's
was
like
so
that.
happy. He told me and he was so happy. Like if he had just sit down with Commonwealth, he would not have gotten this opportunity.
Yeah.
So okay, so before we move on, I just want to ask a question to both of you. If you go back and read your essay now,
Yes.
is it 100%?
Yeah. No. In fact, I am reading my essay today again. I am reading it again. I'm like, this is rubbish. Like you shouldn't have written this one. You could have improved it. I was like, I've won. I don't need to correct myself again.
My essay was a flop. Like I don't know. It wasn't a flop. Like
But it,
with
but
what
right
I
now,
know
with my
now,
experience,
with what I know now, I would have done better. But what I noticed in my essay was that I was really, really like pouring out my heart. The originality in it and the connection was there. Just that maybe the writing, the way I wrote everything, the English, my English was too simple. Then I didn't even use ChatGPT because I didn't know what ChatGPT was. I didn't even
ChatGPT
give
didn't start very
I
well.
didn't give anyone to proofread my essay. It was my husband that just helped me do the dotting and all of that correction of English. I didn't give it to any scholarship person. I just did everything myself. So reading my essay now, it's more like a child writing. Let me just use that to conclude. My essay then is like a child,
So
right?
you can't be 100% sure that your essay is good. But if your mind can tell you or you have given it to someone and they can actually give you that morale boosting encouragement that oh you have done well, I think you are fine. I think you are fine. Please don't burden yourself with I must improve it. No, no, no. You just make more mistakes.
And the more you write, the more you improve. That's one thing you should know. So
Yeah.
the more you
Okay.
write, the more you improve. So
The reason I ask this question is because I know my own essay. I've looked at it. I've looked at the essay and I've been like,
what is this? What
No,
is
So
this?
no,
sometimes, so even sometimes when I'm reviewing people's essay, I'm like, are you sure I'm not being too hard on this person?
exactly.
Because and
Yeah.
no, but the thing is, what I want people to understand is that at the level you are now, you don't have the masters, and
Yeah.
whoever is reviewing knows that you don't have the
You don't
masters.
have it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You cannot write masters level content before you get the masters.
Yeah.
But when you've done the masters, your insight and your ability will open up, and you begin to understand clearly. So they understand what you can write at your level before you get the masters, and they will judge you at that level.
At that.
But once the originality is coming out of what you're writing, I think
Yeah.
that's what captures them more.
Exactly.
It's not really about, that's why I talk about don't use too much grammar, don't use too much this or too much that. It's
Sure.
just about, be original in your content. It's not going to be the best thing you've ever written in your life. It's not. It's definitely not. I mean, first 2 months in the UK, you begin to understand that you were not doing it at all back then. But at this present moment, that may be the best we can offer.
I'm
To just be
telling you.
comfortable with that and press submit.
In
Oh
fact,
my gosh.
I compared my master's write up to my undergrad, and I'm like, God,
Once you don't go there, please, I beg.
yeah, I know.
Please. Don't, don't go there.
It was
Okay.
bad. It was bad.
Okay, let's move to more questions.
Yeah.
Can you share what you've written when you were explaining why you need the scholarship? To be honest, I don't really understand this question. I don't know if you guys understand.
Okay,
it.
maybe the person was just asking for an insight into what you have written there that makes it like very readable or very enjoyable for the panelists to read why
Was
you
it
want
was
this
it a
scholarship.
question like this? Why
Yeah,
you need
like no, it is. I think it is at the part of maybe the study outline or your objective during the award, something like that.
Mm,
Because I think those are the places that you talked about why you need the scholarship itself. Where we talked about me, I want to learn about leadership, something. I
okay.
want to learn about cultural diversity, see
Yeah, I
places,
remember.
understand, learn, take courses in statistical analysis, research, all
Mm,
those things. Yeah,
I remember. I remember.
I think maybe that's what the person is trying to ask about.
Okay. Um. Well, on my own part, I think we've echoed it throughout the webinar already. It's about the originality of what you want to do. I think the most important thing I always tell people is once you understand development impact one, the first essay, what exactly is the
Yeah,
development issue you're trying to solve? Once you understand the why am I doing this thing? What exactly is the
Yes,
problem? What exactly am I trying to do? Every other thing will kind of flow through it because every other
connect.
thing you're talking about is how am I going to solve this problem? How am
That's
I
true.
going to achieve the results? What are the
And
things that I need to do? But what you get when you're
yeah.
studying, what you do after studying, the direction of your career, all be geared towards solving that main problem that you identified.
yes,
Once that
and
problem aligns with SDGs, Commonwealth team, and all that, I think it's also good.
that's true.
Yeah.
And another thing, you shouldn't forget to connect your course models to whatever you want to do in the future, because the scholarship will give you knowledge from your course models. I don't know if you understand this. It's through your course
Yeah.
models that you
That
get
you
the
gain all
knowledge
the experiences that
exactly
you
that you
need
use in the future.
to
So
perform what you want to do.
exactly.
So,
So you should know how to connect those stuffs together so you can really make a good write up.
so lastly, please, people should understand that you don't have to fill up all the word counts that they ask. Because from one essay that I read, I see the person trying to fill up all the word counts. Like, this one is 200. What you have written is sensible, but it's just like 100 or 120. It's fine. You don't have to bombard it with unnecessaries and say, okay, it must be 200. No, as long as it is sensible, even if it is not up to the word count, fine. Don't go beyond the word count as well. Or maybe you are just trying to impress. Like if I go through below above the word count, they will know that I'm serious. I'm not serious. Oh.
But I thought you
I'm
you
not
won't
going
go to, you won't go to the next page if you're above the.
exactly if you're above the word count. So, but if you cannot fill up to the word count as well, it's fine.
Yeah, I feel the top. Oh.
Where I did not fill it up, there are so many places that I did not fill up. I swear, because I'm very concise about what I want to do. This is it. So
Yeah. I think that new feature of not allowing you to move forward with excess words is a new one because before they will just allow you to fill in what you want to fill in and the system will just automatically reject your application won't even go
reject
to
your
the person
application.
review to
Exactly.
just
Are you
screen you out.
serious?
It will screen you
Yeah,
out at
it
that
will fill you
level
out.
Wow.
because
I was told.
you're doing it. Wait, you're coming to do a master's degree.
Mm.
Everything you're going to do in school is word count. If you cannot do word count at the application or scholarship level, you're not going to be a good student.
Exactly.
Yes,
It's,
yes.
it's just
That's
the truth. So you need to prove that you can read the instruction and follow.
Yeah,
It's
mm-hmm.
you
a
can
skill,
follow it up.
Yeah. So, but I also just add this word of caution though. If they give you 200 words, please don't write 20 or 50.
Yes.
What's
Yes. No, no, no. That is exactly what I'm saying. That it
Mhm.
is not as if you will not write anything, but if you have written something sensible, like you want to fill up 100 words, the word is on word 100 word count, and you've written about 80, 85, 90. It's fine. But now trying to increase it to 100 and now putting and so because I see someone that
And
wrote
so therefore,
and so therefore, exactly. That is exactly what I said. And so therefore, and I'm like, what the fuck is and so therefore?
Oh
It
my
doesn't even
god!
and so therefore, why?
No, there are some things that is not necessary. I think I read someone's essay, and the person added that he would be taking webinars to teach applicants on how to gain the scholarship. Should that be added to what you want to do in the future, like what you plan on doing? What do you think?
um, personally, I would say it's not really relevant unless that is relevant to the issue that you're trying to solve.
Okay.
You can do a lot of things. I mean, the sum total of your life is not going to be written in 500 or 200 word essay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
the only thing you need to write is what's relevant to what you're trying. If you're trying to solve cancer problem, doing webinars for future scholars is not really
It's
part
not
of.
really.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
not
really
really
part of the
necessary.
problem. It's not a direct
It's not a
action.
direct. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe you do webinar for 100 people, out of 100 only one person is into cancer, so it's not really hitting the nail on the head.
And the
Justifiable
head.
for
Yeah,
you.
so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need to put things that need. But if you're talking about, if you're trying to solve an education problem, literacy
Mhm.
problem, for example,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
doing webinars,
It's
helping people to get scholarship, that can be directly relevant because it's in the
okay.
education field. So it's things
Okay.
like that. I always tell people, it's about common sense. You think about it by yourself. If you're the one reading this essay, does what you are saying make sense to you? It sounds harsh. It
We
sounds
need
harsh.
we need X zero to use drum roll. Yes, that is down.
You know, you can actually write, and what you're writing makes sense. All you have to do is maybe you could just look for someone to read it to, and because this essay writing is like what did I call it? It's like business proposal. Let me put it that way. You're like trying to sell yourself, so you could actually read it to somebody to see, to know if it's 100% persuasive, if you're able to persuade that person. You understand what I'm saying? So maybe it could make sense to you. Just read it out to someone. You can ask this
Mhm.
person, this sentence does it make sense? This sentence does it make sense? And all of that. Just get
Yeah,
idea
I think I
from
did something similar when I was writing. I just sent somebody, I just told them, I know you don't know anything about this scholarship, you don't know anything about what I'm writing, you don't know anything about this field.
Ah,
When you read this essay, what do you
what
understand
do
from
you
what you've read?
exactly.
I
So if the
I
person
I
is going in direction Y, when you're supposed to be writing about direction X, you already know that it's like this thing is not aligning,
Yeah.
because the person that read your essay may not be a professor in your field.
yeah.
Yes, that's
So
true.
if you're writing about solving a problem in Nigeria, for example, and someone in Nigeria cannot even understand what you're saying,
What you're saying,
Yeah.
that's it.
so someone that's never been to Nigeria before or doesn't understand the local context actually understand what you're saying. So it has to first of all make basic sense.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you just I said to like 5 of my friends, I say, read this thing. Tell me exactly what you understand from what you read.
Exactly.
There's don't say whether it's good or it's not good. Tell me exactly what you understand from what you read. So when like 3 people come back saying the same thing, then you know that actually, okay, you're saying one thing. There's
Yeah.
one meaning coming out from what you're writing.
That's true.
Yeah.
Writing is a skill. Not everyone has it, but you develop it with time.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. A few more questions are popping in and out, so I'll just move on. We might be a little bit quicker now. References from where can I get details regarding the reference letter? As the only requirement for reference letter I found is references from at least 2 individuals in PDF format, signed and ... I guess this is copied from the website. I don't know how to comment on this because I know during my own time when we were writing about references, it was usually you just fill in your referee's details. They will send an email
Exactly.
to the referee. The referee would now, and within that email, they will give you some instruction of what to, they'll give you your CSC reference number for the particular course and all that. That was what we did back then. For now that they are now uploading, I don't know if they were uploading last year. Did you?
No.
No, they
No, they
didn't
started
upload.
uploading. They didn't
Okay.
upload
So this
last
is
year.
the first time they're uploading. So
Mm.
if that has changed, I don't know. I'm going to say, well, you're the first generation to do it, so don't really know what it is. But it is one of those. Okay, I think this is the second part of the question. Reference for at least 2 individuals in PDF format, signed and either on institutional letterhead or an email clearly showing the sender's details. Reference must be uploaded to CSC Central. Okay. But same thing as like I was saying, if you're uploading now, they've given you this basic instruction. One thing I would say is there is the basic information that a reference letter should contain, which is, who you are, the person that's writing you, their own details, what you're applying for, the address, it should be addressed to CSC, not to whom it may concern. Don't submit to whom it may concern. And don't use the same reference letter I used for admission to apply for scholarship because they are not going to be saying the same thing. That's another mistake people may make. In terms of the instructions from CSC, I think you may not need to have the CSC reference number and all those things because you don't have it now. It's different from us when you submitted, then your application has already been assigned the case number, and then when
Yeah.
you get that email to upload reference, they give you the case number and tell your referee to put this case number,
So
the
put this
name of
case
the
number
university, the name
exactly.
of the course. That was because it's for a specific application now.
That was
Hmm.
what Doris was saying.
I think that's what Doris meant. Now that
Yeah.
you're uploading reference, because now you're uploading reference letters, but also be mindful of the fact that you're submitting application for different courses as individual applications.
Yeah.
And while it may be difficult to get, if you want to submit 7 or 11 applications, for example, you may not be able to get 33 reference letters to cover. I think what we've advised before is, depending on who your referee is and the kind of relationship that you people have, there's different strategies that can be deployed.
Yeah.
If you can get a reference letter in soft copy, and the only thing that you need to do is to change the name of the school, because what
School.
I tell people is, in this kind of situation, you need to also be creative.
Hmm.
The body of the reference letter may not contain those details, but in the header, where they have written address, so person, then under that, you have the title of the letter. Then you may just have name of school, name of course, any important detail, and then the rest of the letter is just basically about you. And they are recommending you for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. They've written that in the body of the letter. So
Hmm.
between different applications, you may just be changing that first line of name of course, name of
Yeah.
school.
Hmm.
Those are some of the things that you can do if your referee is comfortable with something like that, because your referee has to be comfortable with that approach for it to work. I've also seen a situation where they can give you the letter, hard copy signed, that's name of institution, name of course, dot, 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 and then you handwrite that one. So your referee can give you that. And you now make 11 copies of it and be filling in the name of the school and the name of the course. Scan to PDF and upload.
Yeah.
These are things that you can do to make life easier. If your referee wants to type 11 copies of different essays for you with those details, it's fine. In the event where none of these things are possible, you can get one reference letter that's saying you're applying to Commonwealth Shared Scholarship 2026, 2027 academic session. Put very, recent date, maybe in the last month or even this month's date, and use that for everything and hope that is enough,
So it.
because it's, this, to me, this is like a worst case scenario. If you
Yeah.
can get
Yeah.
the one that are bespoke, is better. But if you can't, in a worst case scenario, you get the one that says a lot of good things. They're recommending you for Commonwealth Shared Scholarship 2026-2027 session. They don't mention a university. They don't
Yeah.
mention a course. The reason is because that now allows you to use that same reference letter to upload to your 11 different applications. If you apply for only one or two, it might just be easy for you to manage, 3 or 6 reference letter. If you're
Yeah.
applying for
True.
11, it's a difficult thing. Not every referee has that flexibility, but that's also
Yeah.
why you should give referees that you can actually talk to,
True.
and they're actually going to be willing to help you out.
That's
That's my
true.
own advice to applicants. I usually say, you don't go and be looking for the dean of your faculty, head of department that are very busy and doing a lot of
That's true.
things.
That's
You
another
know,
point.
if you, to be honest, some of us, like, if you graduated maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, maybe one of your classmates is now lecturing at the university.
Hmm.
That person can write a reference letter for you as your classmate. We were in the same class. He was a good student. When we had issues, we used to come to him, he used to teach us all those details. This is someone that can write about you. We're in the same class. It's now with lecturing. It's now in the academic profession. He can write about you. May
Yeah.
not have taught you, but he start in class with you. It's
Yeah.
still something. Okay. Don't know if you guys want to add anything. I think there's another question on
Well,
reference letters.
okay. Yeah. We still have
Uh,
another question.
is it okay? This is the same one. Same one. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, no, I think that's the last question. I think I was seeing the same question 3 times. This one's from Bat and Cranfield. Oh, they see this one I was talking about Cranfield. Okay, yeah, this is it. Please, regarding the reference
So,
letter, I haven't seen all these criteria for the letters anywhere on CSC page. Please, those who have seen it, where can I see this? Okay, I think that's what we just talked about now.
yeah.
That the system
So,
has changed.
what Mrs. Doris said was from what we are used to. And from
Before.
my own perspective, I think the reason why they started about you uploading your reference letter for yourself, what I think is the cause is that there are some of us that actually do more than 12, 13, 14 applications during our own time.
Mm.
Maybe they were thinking that okay, maybe it will reduce unnecessary applications.
Okay.
Do you get? So because no matter the amount of application you did, it is the one that you are selected for that they need to write reference letter for you for. But in this case, they have streamlined you because they know that I can't get 11, 12, 13 reference letters from anyone. So you will have to be meticulous with whatever you are doing.
I'm even thinking that for every institution you will have to submit application letter to that application. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah,
Like you can't submit like a general reference letter rather to
it must have the name of
multi
the application
individual
itself.
specific
Like maybe
exactly.
this person is applying to maybe cancer and molecular biology at University of Leicester, and then you
Because
upload their
because you know
application.
why? You know why? This application to first go to CSC, and then CSC will move it to the university, right?
Yeah,
Is that not how it
that,
works?
that's how it works.
That's how it works. So they need to know which reference is going to which university. So imagine if you make the reference letter generic. I don't think.
I don't.
But
Yeah.
either ways, just do
Either
what.
Well,
way, it's just
we'll
this one.
we'll see. I think we'll see how it plays out. Uh, like I said, it's a new system. One of my own hypothesis was because I know that Commonwealth Masters is uploading reference. I think 2 years ago, and it
Hmm.
was because sometimes referees don't respond to those emails in time,
Oh,
and so you have a good candidate, a good profile, and you have to
yes.
disqualify them because they didn't
Because of
get
referee.
a reference letter that the referee didn't. Sometimes you call your referee, so the referee will tell you, "Yes, submitted it," but they've not submitted it.
Some referees are not even good at doing this IT stuff. Like they are not
Mhm.
skilled using
Mhm.
converting to
They can
PDF.
give you hard copy, but for them to you to tell them
Exactly.
click this link and type out the reference and all those
Exactly.
things, it might be
They're
a
not used
difficult
to
issue, you know.
doing all of
No,
that.
So
my own referee actually he would tell me screenshot his email and say, "Well, see, this is what they ask of me. Oh. So and this is what I'm going to write for you. Oh. So in case anything happens, it's not my fault."
That's why you need someone that you can actually talk to. You
Yeah,
need someone you can
exactly.
actually talk to. You don't just go to anybody.
okay. So another question I was asking for referees, is it required to include a personal referee? Can the personal referee write a simple plain sheet, no letterhead? I think I'm going to bring back this comment, this question, which is from the
Okay.
CSA. Either
Someone
on an institutional letterhead or an email clearly showing the sender's
Send that
details.
to them.
So this is an important
someone
point.
someone sent me a screenshot right now. So it is about application reference. I don't know if I can show this.
You on the
Now, the
screen.
person said CSE sent them this message. Is applying to two universities, and then they send the person a reference number for those two applications.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you understand what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
he want to submit for two universities.
Okay.
So for those two applications that is going to do, they
One.
sent in a reference number. So those reference number covers the two university and the two
Oh,
applications.
that's a new format then.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So I think that is how it is going to be. So you have a reference number that would be used for all the applications that you want to do.
So
So
even
if
if
you
you're
are
applying for 20 schools, even if you're applying to 20
yeah,
schools, you just have one reference number.
one reference number, yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we're all learning
Yeah.
as we go. One thing I always tell people is, what we ever say on this platform is usually what we know based on our own experience. We don't speak for
Yeah.
CSC. Sometimes therefore these questions may not be clear. I always tell people, email CSC. They will respond to you.
Mm.
Email CSC. You're having difficulty with
Yeah,
the portal. Email CSC.
they will
It
respond.
was somebody's email that extended the application window of the last
Are you
Commonwealth
serious?
Masters because the portal went down.
Yeah,
The portal crashed. People had to email CSC. Oh, the portal is. I wanted to submit my application today. The portal went down.
Yes,
and so
the
you cannot
Commonwealth
take,
Masters,
yeah,
Commonwealth Masters, they
and so
extend
they
it for
have
a
to
week.
extend. They have to
They
extend
extend for a
because
week.
maybe I'm busy on Tuesday, but I want to submit on Saturday, and the portal crashed on Saturday. You have to give me next Saturday to submit
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
make it the
So
level.
they
So
gave them a week. They were
so
expected to submit on the
you
14th
need to
before
communicate
15th.
with CSC. I think sometimes we're afraid of if we call these people, maybe they will be angry with us because we're disturbing them and they will not give us the scholarship and all those things. You need to share that mindset.
No, you're
Yeah.
very
CSC wants the
understanding.
best candidates to win the scholarship. Anything they
Yeah.
can do to make room for the best candidates, they will do it. Because when the best candidate wins the scholarship, it reflects well on us, reflects
Yeah.
on them, reflects well on everybody. Society is better. They
Mhm.
achieve their aim and purpose. CSC will also, at the end of every year, they also have to justify why they are still giving people this scholarship.
Yes, because they
They
would
will
need
have
to
to
like do
they have to
some.
show that they are giving the right people the scholarship. They have to
People.
do some analysis. So they always like, which is why when you said that your friend that went to Abba University, they have to open portal for him to apply. It is
Yes.
because they have already judged that this person is the best
This
candidate
person
for
is the
this thing.
best.
In
Yeah.
So
fact,
we
you
have
know,
to find a way to bring him to the university.
the person is currently in the USF doing PhD in
Mhm,
parasite control that Aberystwyth University was doing then.
Mm.
mhm. So they
So
always find a way to accommodate you if you show that you are worth the investment. So explain to them there's this confusion or this information on your website is not clear. They will update the website with the right information once you complain. Almost the whole process is refined. UK people, they like a lot of feedback. When you
yes,
give them
yes,
feedback, they will change. I know when I did my master's, because in 2022, we were the first people to come back to class after COVID. So
Yeah.
there were some new things they were trying out with students, hybrid learning and all those things. So they were always asking us, is this one working? Is that one not working? What do we need to add? We were giving all that feedback. I know when people came to study the course next, some of the things that we recommended, I saw that they've changed some of them. They've started doing those things. So your feedback to CSC can change the way that the application is going to work, provide some insight and all those things. So don't be afraid to reach out to them if you don't understand anything.
yeah,
There's only so much we can answer. We don't know. If we don't know, we
yeah.
don't know. And we
But
cannot claim to know
seriously,
what we don't know.
it is good to give feedback because UK and feedback they are like 5 and 6. Everything is feedback. You must. So
Okay.
let's go.
So this one is directly to Doris. Before I move to the next question, I can see.
Yes, they are looking for you on LinkedIn. She's very popular on LinkedIn.
My name is different on LinkedIn. It's can I should I
You can type it in the comment box if
let
you
me
want.
try. I do not see the a place where I can type on my system. So
I think you
You
can
can drop it to the
you can drop it
private
in
chat,
the and
okay,
then Maxi.
and then I'll pick it up.
Okay, okay,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Another question. For those who completed their undergraduate many years ago, it's challenging to find an academic ref.
that is why the power of keeping rapport even after you have left university is very important. You cannot take away the importance of academic referee out of all your applications because no matter how big all the other referees that you are using are, they still need to my own understanding, they still need someone that has taught you before to be able to say something about you, something about your performance in class, your performance in research or undergraduate project, your overall performance in school.
Yeah,
In fact, they were asking that you can use academic reference, work reference, or personal reference. All my references are academic reference. All of them
same here.
academic references. All my lecturers, yes. I select the professors among them and ask them to recommend me. So it is important to continue to keep this rapport with your academic references, even academic lecturers, even after you have left the school for a very long time. But in
Okay.
that case, maybe you can, if you are working or um, you have other means, you can actually, or if you have a means to go back to school and just explain yourself to them and tell them how important the scholarship is to your life and your career, maybe someone might actually be able to help out.
I also add, if you've been in a professional setting for a very long time, you can't get an academic reference, you can, I always tell people it's about being creative. Sometimes if you're creative, the person you're applying to will be impressed and they will give you a chance. Within your workplace, have you done any kind of training? Have you done any kind of development? Is there someone that has trained you? Is there someone that has taught you something? Let that person write about your learning ability in a
Yeah.
reference letter. Because all learning and all training must not be university or academic. Sometimes you've done some short courses, you've
Yeah.
done some training courses as part of your professional life, as part of your workplace, or whatever it is. Let somebody write something about your ability to perform as a student being trained. Or maybe if you're the one that's been training, let your superior write it. You're the one that's training people in the workplace, that you're also good at teaching as well as learning, because you have to learn before you teach. And if when you teach, it means that you understand what you learned. So this
Mm.
Yeah.
the contents that you use to close gaps you have.
Mm.
Everybody's application will not be the same. Some people will be strong in some area, weak in other area, but
Yeah.
use what you have very strongly. Be creative in the way you use your application. It's just like what you said. He used all his professors. He did all academic because that's what
Yeah.
you have, and you
That's
can
Yes.
what
use it very well. And you did it, and it worked for you. Other
it
person may
was.
have something else. You must not do. I always tell people, you must not do one academic, one professional, one
Well,
personal. Because what if you are still an undergraduate and you've never worked? Where will you get a professional reference from actually?
Exactly.
So you need to think about different situations. Based on your situation, try to adapt. It's part of your problem solving skills. It shows that you can do things when things are scarce.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me just add to that. For me, I used, should I say all academics? I don't know if I should say that. Yeah, I used my supervisor. Then I used somebody from another department that didn't even teach me.
It's an academic reference.
That's an academic reference. Quite all right.
Yeah.
This person didn't teach me. So what I'm saying is if you know someone that is actually a teacher, a lecturer that knows you, that can actually write about you, the person can write.
So
Do you
not
get
all reference have to be your performance in class. Sometimes that be your
exactly?
character as a person.
Exactly. So if you have someone that know about you, the person can write. So far, the person's institution has like the person can bring write the letter on a letter headed paper. The person can write about you. You get. Then the third person I used was from my internship where I did a kind of hospital posting during my BSc.
Professional
That was the
reference.
third person I used. So you can actually
Professional
just use someone that knows a lot about you.
Yeah. I think on our last week when we had Alfred, I think he said he used the secretary in the company where he was working to write
Okay.
one of his
Yeah,
reference
Alfred,
letter.
yes. He used secretary. Now a reception. He said receptionist.
Receptionist.
Yeah.
Because that work and because that kind of person can say yes, he's very friendly, he works well with others,
Yeah,
he's
Exactly.
that's
always
a
punctual,
character
he's always
reference.
punctual to the office, he's
Hmm.
Yeah.
always delivering. As these are people that can talk. And most, sometimes you think that big bosses, sometimes the big boss in the office doesn't know you or doesn't really know you, depending on how big your organization is.
True.
Yeah.
To be honest, if I'm reading your application and the receptionist in the office can say good things about you, it says a whole lot about your character. To be very honest,
Exactly.
you know, for the person to even agree to do that for you,
For
it
you
means that you actually have a good working relationship with the person
with
and
the
there's a lot of
person.
things going on. So people need to be creative about the way that they go about these applications. Like I said, you need to be competitive, do something a little bit different from what other people are doing. Try to make your own standouts. Just make sure you're coloring within the lines.
My academic referee said something like that. He said one of his weakness is that he's too competitive. Ah, oh Ghana. This now you know good. He sent me like he already submitted the reference. He now sent it to me to read after he has submitted it. I now saw it and I said, "Oh God, you shouldn't have written this." He said, "Yes, now you are too. I'm not lying now. I shouldn't be lying for you."
Okay. That brings
But
us
it's
to
good.
this question.
Monsieur, oh wow. Well, you see, this is what I just talked about now. See, it depends on the way they write it. Actually, the way my own referee wrote my weakness is was you one thing that I can talk about as his weakness, which I don't see as a weakness, is that he is very competitive. is an extraordinary student, but this competitive sometimes might make him take much time dwelling on one particular subject. But this actually shows that he is really smart enough to understand the in-depth of what the subject is all about, even though it takes more time on that subject to understand it.
That's actually praising you inside your
Inside
weakness.
my weakness, exactly. So they can actually write about your weakness, but in a way that will not look like a weakness. Because I'm
I
not
Yeah.
a
think
like
that
I did competitive. I love to be maybe when I'm now growing up now I've stopped it. I love to be center of attraction. I love attention very well. I love attention. Say, who is the best student in the class? Now me. But when you started doing stuff and started meeting people from all walk of life and they are better than you have to calm down and
To learn
strategize.
from them, Abby.
So learn from them. So one thing I now always do is even if I am not the best student in the class, you cannot mention top 5 or top 10 without mentioning my name.
You.
Now, what I did was when I was finishing my undergrad, my friend who won the scholarship before me won the best graduating student. But I won a scholarship to Poland during my undergrad.
Wow.
So when they were given award, they gave them award for being the best student, but they now gave me a special award for winning scholarship during my undergrad. So my professor talked about that and stuff. In fact, in this University of Leicester, I am not like the best student, in fact, but my project, I did 2 projects, which no one did. So they actually acknowledged the fact that out of everybody in the class, I was the only one that undertake 2 projects, 2 master's projects.
Projects.
So even if I'm not the best student, I will do something particular, extraordinary
Different.
that will, give me, recognition.
Yeah.
So that's what I always try to do,
okay. Good, good,
which
good.
is a
So
weakness.
yeah, so I think it's like you said, framing matters. The way they frame it,
Yeah,
the way they say it is the way that matters. People can say a weakness and turn a weakness into a strong point. So just
sure.
be it still comes up. Be creative in the way you write things. I can't see any other question. Okay, I think this is for those looking for Doris on LinkedIn. This is the name you should be looking for. Hopefully, you find her now. Let's
Yeah,
see. There's one last question I can spot. Good evening. My name is Stephanie. I'm from Nigeria. I'm very, very new to this, and it seems application ends soon. Is there something else I can do? Okay. Let me try to answer this one. Application deadline is on Tuesday for this
yeah,
particular scholarship, and the next cycle will be around the same time next year for this particular scholarship. What I always tell people is applying to one scholarship would give you the training, the ability to apply to more. So that you don't meet this window does not mean that you cannot be applying for other
Other one.
opportunities. It's not that you now have
sure.
to wait till this time next year to apply to Commonwealth Shared again. Commonwealth Shared is not, I used to tell people, Commonwealth Shared is not your father's company. They didn't write your name and put Commonwealth Shared by the side. Everybody will not be a Commonwealth Shared scholar, you know. But like myself, when I applied first scholarship, I took Commonwealth Masters, Commonwealth Shared, then I did Chiefening, then I came, went around the place, did a few other places. But everyone you do is kind of you improve. You
Yeah.
will notice that you are improving.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Within yourself, you will notice that you're improving. Because there are some things that you don't, some people now they don't understand the difference between official transcripts, unofficial transcripts, students copy, those things. You don't understand it
Yes.
now. By the time you
Yes.
do 1, 2, 3 application, you begin to
You
understand.
you know.
That one is no longer your problem. You move to a new problem. So first advice I'll give you is to follow our channel because we're going to be talking about other opportunities as well. This is not
Mm-hmm.
the end of the road. We talk about a lot of things. We talk about PhD scholarships. We talk about Commonwealth, Chiefening, Mastercard. We've even talked about China, Japan. We've talked about a few other scholarships. If you go to our YouTube channel, you go to this webinar library. You see all of them there. They are all there. The important thing I always tell people is there's opportunities everywhere. There's a lot of opportunities out there. The opportunities are looking for the best candidate. If you position
Yeah.
yourself as the best candidate, you get it. Erasmus Mundus, for example, is always on a rolling basis. programs come in and come out of their catalog as time goes on. It depends on when the program that fits into you comes into the catalog you apply. There's different scholarships, different countries, both within Africa, outside Africa. The Queen Elizabeth's Commonwealth Scholarship is currently on. So
Yeah.
that's another one. I think that was until January. I think that one is for studying in low and middle income countries. So it depends on what you want and the way you want to go about it. Even Commonwealth has distance learning where you don't even need to travel.
They have split sides.
So
it's so much.
So there's a lot of opportunities. So the first thing I'll just tell you is, settle down. You don't need to, you must not rush to submit on Tuesday because it might not be the best use of your time. But settle down and understand the landscape. Go through a few of our programs that we've had on different topics and begin to think about exactly what you want to do. What area you want to go into, even which country you want to study in. It's also a good decision to make. You can decide to choose or shortlist a group of countries. I want to study in Europe. I want to go to the Americas. I want to go to Australia. I want to go anywhere. Shortlist all those things, get all those steps in. I sometimes I tell people keep a journal, understand, so that you understand, because sometimes when you don't know what you want, you begin to throw yourself everywhere, you burn out. And you're not able to focus your energy. I know people that they've told themselves it's Commonwealth or nothing.
Exactly.
And they carry all their energy and they focus on Commonwealth, even if they're going to apply 11 times.
Jesus.
They want to apply. That's what they want.
Yeah, somebody said he doesn't want anything apart from chevening, and he applied 11 times before he gets it.
And he got it.
He got it.
I think I read that story on LinkedIn. I think he got interviewed either 3 or 4 times.
Yes.
Before he finally got in. So, but that's what he wants. It's not stopping him from doing other things with his life. He was still doing other things with his life, but this is something that he wants for himself. And then there are some of us that are very flexible with what we want. We want to go for different. So once you know where you fit in, what you want to do, how you want to go about it, you know where to channel your energy and your focus.
Yeah.
Because the truth is, normally when you focus on a particular thing and you channel enough energy into it, you usually come on top. Either you get it or you even get something better than that. So that is usually my advice to all applicants. Everybody must not apply for the same thing. Everybody must not do the same thing. You have to understand where you want to go and what you want to do, and then apply accordingly. Some people may be using Commonwealth shared application now to test the waters and learn. And then they will go and apply for MasterCard or go and apply for something else and get it.
Sure.
That may be their own journey. Everyone's journey is different. As much as we are, talking about Commonwealth shared, we also want to let everybody know it's not the end of the world if you get or don't get it.
Sure.
So just, sometimes you may not even want to come to the UK, for example. Maybe you want to go to South Africa and study, or you want to go to Zimbabwe and study.
Ghana.
Some people, that's what they want. They want to experience new or different culture. You want to go to Mexico, you want to go to Cuba, that's where you want to go. Some people want to go to Russia and study. That's
Russia.
Yes, now.
Yes.
Yes.
So I swear to God, I want open door. I just did not go.
Why did you go?
They said that it is not fully funded. It actually paid my school fees, but I had to do all the visa and everything.
Same here.
I would have gone.
The year before I got the Commonwealth Scholarship, I won a partly funded scholarship in US, Rochester Institute.
Exactly.
Can I go? Partly funded. So
I want open door.
So, yeah, I know people that want partly funded. There are people that want fully funded.
Fully funded.
Now fully.
Some people just want PhD. Don't even want to do masters.
Yes, that's true. You just want to go straight.
They just want to go 5-year program. They know this is what they are doing.
Yeah.
That's all. Some people want just masters. They don't even want to hear PhD at all. So everyone's journey is different. So take your time. There's no rush. But just make best use of your time. Explore the resources that you have around. Learn, understand things. Then you'll be able to make better decisions about what you want to go for, what you don't want to go for. We'll have more sessions. We have sessions. We have a session tomorrow, which we're going to be talking about. I think tomorrow's session is about post-scholarship.
Yeah.
So that's another good one. What exactly happens when you finish studying? How can you plan for that? What are the things? Because some people, their focus now is to get a master's degree or get a scholarship. But after that, what next? Because there are things you also need to do to plan for the future. So we have a few people that have won the Commonwealth and they are going to come and speak to us about their journey after. and how they've been able to navigate things. So that's also a good one. I think next week I've already mentioned we're going to be talking about things around reference letter, building those relationships, and the rest of them. And I think that may be the end of it for this year. We're in December already. Come back
Yeah.
in January and kick it off again with all the next things that are going on. So stay tuned. Even if you want to send us a request of there's a particular program you want us to talk about, you can send a request to us. We'll try to fit that in as well. There's one last question that popped in before we will go. So I'm just looking at the time. I think we'll end the next 6 minutes at the latest. So let's talk about, could you please talk about the part where we should talk about our ethnicity? Although it's optional and I'd like to hear. I think I know what this is. This is the demographic data that they collect at the end, where they tell you to talk about your gender, where you're from, and all those things.
Okay.
It's not part of the application. That's why it's optional. It's not part of. It's just CSC collecting data to understand the type of people that are applying for the scholarship
And the
where they are coming from.
the
The spread.
geographical
They want to
distribution.
understand the spread and how many people they are reaching. Whether they are getting more female or more male applicants, whether they're getting more, because Commonwealth countries are across different continents. So maybe this continent is having more people than this other continent. They just want to understand that, so that if there's a country, a continent, or a group of people that need extra support, or they need to revamp the application to include some certain people, they can do that. That's what that is for. You don't have to fill it if you don't want to, or if you're not comfortable to fill it. You can if you're comfortable enough to fill it, to give that additional data to CSC, because that may also improve the process for the next people coming after us.
Exactly.
So
I think we have some scholars. I think during our own time we have scholars from Fiji. I think only one person from Fiji.
I don't think we had during my own time. I can't remember.
Yes, we had just one person from Fiji.
So the big countries, sometimes there's a skew. When you create a process, they can be biased, they can be skews, they can be all those things. So even universities will collect this data. Even when you start schooling, your university will start asking you for most of this data. They want to see
jobs.
They want to see. Most of the time when I fill forms, I see that thing.
Yeah.
And I always try to fill it out, because maybe they want to know how many people from
So
this
they call
background.
it inclusion and diversity, something. What do
Yeah.
they call? There's something they call
diversity and inclusion.
diversity and inclusion. Yeah.
So they want to understand, because if you put out an application and only a certain group of people are applying, it may be that the application is biased towards those people, and then you need to do something to change the process to include other people.
I remember, like, I think in 2020, 2021, London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, they take in a lot of Nigerians, Ghanaians, and stuff. But I think they feel like most of those applicants are majorly from this country. So this time around, they are taking applicants. They will write it there that, for Commonwealth Scholarship, we are looking at Kenyan, Ugandan, Malawis, and those countries like that. It's not open to Nigerians and stuff, because they've had a lot of those applicants in the past. So sometimes it happens like that.
Yeah. So I think that is our last question that I can see. Yeah. So I'm going to take that down. I'm going to start saying thank you to everyone that has joined, because we've had almost 2 hours of discussion.
Yeah.
If I've missed your question by some mistake, it wasn't deliberate, but please, if I have, please pop it back into the comment section while we're giving our closing remarks, and we'll try to take it as we go along. So I'm going to take down the banner. Let's see, so you can see people's good. Well, we've already put Doris's actual name on LinkedIn for those that want to connect with her. If you want to connect with me or Wasiu, I think you find these names on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm going to give my 1 minute of advice I always give people. Please, when you reach out to someone on LinkedIn or on any social media platform or anything, please, everything we've said in this webinar also applies. Don't go to somebody's DM and start the hi, good morning, how are you, have you eaten, how's your day going, and all those things. I know you are trying to be polite, I know you are trying to build the connection, but to be very honest with you, that's not what that is for. If you have a question you want to ask me, for example, and I open my LinkedIn and I'm saying hi, how are you, there's every likelihood I'm not going to respond to that message, especially maybe if I'm at work, if I'm on the move, if I'm somewhere, and I might forget to come back to answer that, to respond to that message.
Yeah.
And that's how, maybe something that you are supposed to get from me in 30 seconds is going to take you 5 days before you get the answer. Because by the time you ask, how are you? And then maybe I remember at night, I come and respond, I'm doing fine. How about you? And then the next day, you now respond, I'm okay. Thank you.
Hmm?
And then we start another good morning or start another. So please, I always tell people straight to the point. Hi, I'm so person. I'm connecting with you because I attended this webinar. You spoke at it. Thank you so much for accepting my connection request or whatever. I'm having this issue, blah, 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 blah. Bam. If I read your message, I know exactly how I'm going to help you.
Exactly.
If I'm going to direct you to somebody, I direct you to somebody. If I'm going to send you a link to information, I send you a link to information. I know exactly what I can do for you at that moment. I will. Within 20 seconds, you may get the answer to whatever you're looking for.
Yeah.
Instead of the whole long and short. It's not just about me. Probably I speak for both of you as well and anybody else, whether you're
Yeah.
connecting with them professionally or for any other reason. Most of the time, people like concise and straight to the point. Put your greetings in the beginning and everything. Be polite, but tell me exactly why you are contacting me.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be contacting me for even if you're just contacting me to say I attended this webinar, you gave a lot of insights, it really helped me a lot, thank you so much. If that's the only thing you want to say, please say it at the beginning
Straight.
so that we know that this is why you've contacted me. And then I can ask, oh, thank you so much, thank you for attending, you're welcome to attend more sessions, I'm happy that you got value, and then we can make connections on LinkedIn and talk about other things if the opportunity presents itself. So that's my usual advice I give to applicants. I say it a lot on this platform. And sometimes I finish saying it, and then someone will come on LinkedIn and send me hi. You know.
Full
So
stop. You forgot the full stop. I full stop.
so
So
please take this advice on board. It's not just, I know some people, there's a cultural, there may be cultural differences and cultural barriers, but
Yeah.
I promise you, anybody you reach out to wants to know exactly why you're reaching out to them.
Mm.
They
yeah.
don't just want to, because I know if I want to say hi, I know who to say hi to. I know there's a lot of people in my contact box I can say hi to and we'll be hi each other. That's not why we connected on LinkedIn or any other platform. So please take that advice on board. Okay, so I'm not going to pass the mic over to you. I'm not going to say much again. If there's any last words you guys want to give to the applicants before we call it a close. I saw a last question that popped in, but I'll let you guys give closing comments. We take that question and then we close.
Ladies
Should I
first.
go first?
Ladies
Ladies
first.
first. Ladies first. We're
Okay,
gentlemen
so
here.
I think after writing all my essays, I remember one thing that I did that I forgot to mention here. Commonwealth has like a PDF format of their marking scheme. I don't know if you guys saw that. Where they tell you if you have this, what you should look out for in everything that you're submitting.
It is like primary something
Exactly,
secondary,
exactly.
something
So
that they look
so
up primarily and something that they look up.
exactly. So I went to that PDF and started ticking my boxes. So if you can actually do that for yourself, I think you're good to go. I can't remember where I found it, but I know I did something like that. So tick your boxes, dot your I's, cross your T's. Just I wish you all good luck doing your application. I pray that each and every one of you will come back smiling to us. So thank you very much for joining this session with us. I hope to see you guys next time with your testimonies.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll see you. Over to
Thank
you.
you. So thank you everyone for sticking with us since all this while. I hope it has been a wonderful section because to us it has been wonderful. We have been smiling since.
Yeah.
And then the only advice I would give is that be versatile. See, no matter the amount of rejection, just one yes is enough for you to forget all the rejections.
Yeah.
This is Doru can testify. I have done over countless applications, countless for PhD, countless. In fact, I lost count of PhD application I've done. Seriously. And later, God did something wonderful. But what I'll just say is be versatile. In fact, the PhD that I want currently, I have done the interview before. I did not perform well. But the supervisor said, you know what? I love to work with you. I am interested in working with you. Let's try again. And we tried again. And then I won. So, but it stems from constant connection with the professor. And like you said, I don't just barge into his DM and started saying, "Hi, how are you? How are you doing? How is your day? What is?" No, I went straight to his email, tell him what I'm interested in doing, tell him my profiles and everything. And he answered and he said, "Can we have a chat?" We did the first interview. It was bad. It was there, part of the panelists, and he gave it to me straight. This interview was terrible. We can improve. You can do it again if you are still interested. I'm interested. Try again. I did. But I can assure you that I did over 62 applications for PhD.
What?
So I swear to God Almighty, over 62 applications for PhD. Now, put it in mind that I'm also doing application for NHS job as well, over 62. So I was telling someone that those are things that actually look like failure, but it is not failure. Because the more you do all these things, the more you get experience, the more you improve. So please continue to be versatile, apply vastly. One thing will pop out for you. Just 1 year and you forget all these love letter and
True.
everything. So thank you very much for sticking with us. It is nice to be
Thank
here.
you.
Have a wonderful day.
Okay, so the mic is back with me, and another question popped in. So I'm going to try to be very quick with these questions. First one, is there a space for recommendation letter on Commonwealth shared application portal? The answer is yes.
Yes.
They have created that space on the form for you to upload the application letter. Please go through the form and you will see where you're supposed to upload your reference letters, and please upload them as part of your application. Number two, please, when submitting, is it advised to insert one line space between two paragraphs on the CSC portal, seeing that it looks clunky without it on the platform? My simple answer would be it depends on if that space is going to count as a character or word.
Yeah.
If you put the space and it's going to reduce your character count or word count in that box, please avoid that because you don't have those to waste. The truth of the matter is, it's not on that platform that they are going to review your essay. All those information will be extracted in a format that the reader is going to. So, no matter what you do in terms of your formatting, I think what will come out on the back end for everybody will look exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
So
you don't have to
that shouldn't really be a
just
big issue, unless for your own readability you need that visual so that you can see what you're actually uploading. That's fine, as long as it doesn't eat into your word count or character count. Okay. But in terms of whether that's going to affect your review of the application,
no.
I seriously doubt that.
No.
Okay. Please just yes or no, because after inserting the line space, it sometimes looks like listing because of the way it's formatted. Okay. Well, like I said, you to be honest with you, if it's going to cause you any problem, just forget about putting that line space because
Exactly.
it doesn't really add or remove anything from the
Remove
application.
anything.
That's why I
Because
usually tell people type everything in Microsoft Word, be
And
happy
copy
with
and
it in Microsoft Word, copy,
copy and
paste,
paste.
and walk away. Easy. If you start trying to play around inside the form, you might delete something without knowing. You might miss out a
Exactly.
word without knowing. You may move a paragraph to a wrong place without knowing, and then that kind of
Knowing.
messes up the whole thing. So my own experience is usually copy from Microsoft Word,
yeah.
paste, and move on. I don't really care about how it looks, to be very honest with you. So that is that. Okay, good.
All
I think
right.
that's answered your question. So that's very good. So if nobody has got value from today's session, this person got value from today's session. Oh, good. Good. So that brings us to the end of our discussion for today. It's been a wonderful time with everybody. I apologize again for starting a little bit late because of what technical difficulties we're having in the background. But I think it's been a fruitful discussion. I'm going to
Yeah.
wish you all the best. Make good use of the next 2 to 3 days. Make sure your applications are top notch and everything is fine. Dot your I's, cross your T's. And after the application, don't sit down and start waiting for Commonwealth to get back to you. It's going to take them months. Go on with your life, do other things, apply to other opportunities, enjoy your Christmas and New Year for those that celebrate. And life goes on, whether or not Commonwealth gets back to you very soon. Because don't be refreshing your email every 2 days. So. People are laughing. Maybe people did it. Don't be refreshing your email every.
I totally forgot about my application. Seriously.
Yeah, I
So,
should not lie to you. I did not forget. I was checking 24/7. I will not
I
mhm,
lie.
forgot about my
mhm.
application.
I did not forget. I was every time I'm checking my email. Shey Commonwealth will not get back to us. You mean they said 2 months? 2 months have arrived now. Oh yeah, 3 months, 4 months. Waiting
Oh,
this stuff.
Mhm,
I was checking actually, but
mhm.
I actually fill my time with a lot of things.
Good.
So I'll just tell everybody, don't check your email or be looking. Just Commonwealth said they'll get back to you after like some months. Leave them be. Go on with your life. Whatever happens, fine. You
Mhm.
can always come back.
If there's some of those goals you wrote in essay, you can start ticking them. You know,
Exactly.
if there are things you can start doing to improve yourself,
right?
start doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Because if for any reason you don't get a scholarship, you want your profile this year and your profile next year not to be the same.
The
Yeah.
same.
So use that time productively.
That's true. And
So
if you're waiting to get back from Commonwealth Scholarship, that's like almost another year. So you need to do
exactly.
something from now till when they'll get back to you. You need to start doing something instead of being idle.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll leave it there, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for tomorrow's session. It's a very nice one, and we'll see you guys again next weekend for another round of sessions. None of them will be on Commonwealth Share because that will be closed by then. But other opportunities present themselves in different ways. So join us. If you've not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe so you always get our alerts, and watch this space so that you can always follow up with good information and different opportunities. Invite your friends, share the video. The recording will always be available on YouTube, so you can share the video. You can come back and listen to anything that Doris or Wasu has said that you need to re-echo it in your mind to get it again. Come back, watch the video. It will always be here for you.
Yeah.
And that's where I call it a night, and we'll see you all next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and you know, thank you to both of you for your time and for the energy that you brought to today's session. I think it was a very enjoyable one, even for our viewers. So
Thank you, sir.
we'll have you guys back again next time, maybe sometime soon, but we'll see.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
All right. So
Bye.
this is where